I want to start with something I see in almost every shop I walk into. This isn't a criticism, purely an observation, because I've seen it so many times that I think it's worth naming clearly. The shop is tidy, the owner is working hard, they're ordering stock, serving customers, keeping the lights on. But when I start asking questions, simple questions like, when did that last sell? Or why are you stocking this? The answers kind of dry up. Not because they don't care, they care enormously, but somewhere along the way, the decisions about what sits on those shelves stopped being decisions at all. They became habits. And habits in retail have a way of quietly costing you money without ever announcing themselves. The shops that struggle aren't always stocking too much or too little. They're stocking the wrong things. And they haven't reviewed it recently enough to notice. Walk down most high streets today and you'll see the same products, the same brands, the same safe choices. Independent retailers terrified of missing a sale end up stocking a bit of everything, which means that they're memorable for nothing. And that's a real problem, because the one advantage an independent shop has over every chain, every online platform, every algorithm is curation. The ability to say, this is exactly right for my customers. This is exactly right for this shop. In this episode, we're going to look at why product mix goes wrong, what the 4 roles of any product actually are, and a simple review habit you can build starting this month. Nothing complicated, just clear thinking applied consistently. Hi, I'm Keith Lockwood. I've spent 30 years working with retailers from independent shops on local high streets to international fashion houses. I help independent retailers think more clearly, act more deliberately, and build shops that their customers genuinely want to come back to. Less noise, more clarity. So let's get into it. When trade is down, the first thing retailers reach for are explanations. The economy, online shopping, the council's car park charges have gone up again, and sometimes these things genuinely are a factor. But when I walk the shop floor with someone and we start looking at individual products, a different picture usually emerges. There are things on shelves that haven't moved for months. There are lines being reordered because they were ordered last time, not because anyone's asked for them. There are gaps being filled by what I call Me Too products, things that aren't distinctive, aren't sought after, and aren't really serving anyone. They're just there, because an empty shelf feels worse than a full one. The reason this happens certainly isn't laziness. It's entirely human nature. We get busy. We default to what's familiar. We keep doing what we've always done because changing things takes time and attention, and both of those are in short supply. But here's the key point. Familiar isn't the same as effective. Customers' tastes move faster than we realize, not in dramatic leaps, but gradually. A product that was shifting 20 units a week 3 years ago might be down to 8 now, and you've never noticed unless you're looking. Meanwhile, it's still occupying the same shelf space, tying up capital and crowding out whatever could be there instead. Think about tinned goods. Spam is still available. It was ubiquitous in the 1970s. Monty Python even wrote a song about it. But the shelf space it once commanded has shifted to things that feel more relevant to today's tastes. Nobody made a big announcement. The drift just happened. And if you're not watching for it, you'll be making today's decisions based on yesterday's assumptions. We need to move from ordering by habit to ordering by intent. It's a subtle shift, but it changes everything. It means asking every time you reorder something, is this still earning its place? Not just, did we sell some? but is this the best use of space for my customers right now? Start small. Pick one section of your shop this week, just one, and look at it with fresh eyes and ask yourself, why is each item there? When did it last sell? If a supplier walked in today and showed me it for the first time, would I buy it? If the answers aren't clear, that's useful information. That uncertainty is the beginning of better decisions. Here's one of the biggest mistakes I see across retail of all kinds. Retailers treat every product the same. They order everything, display everything, and price everything without a clear sense of why each product is there. And when everything gets the same attention, nothing gets the right attention. When you think about it, every product in your shop is playing one of 4 roles. And understanding which role a product is playing changes how you think about it, how you display it, and what you do with it. Key items. These are your consistent bestsellers, your bread and butter, the products your regulars expect every single time they visit. If you run out of these, you've broken a promise, and they'll quietly start going elsewhere to find them. These products need protecting. Never run out of them. Number 2, destination products. These are the reason people make a special trip to you specifically. Products that are hard to find elsewhere, best in class. These are your competitive edge, and they are more valuable than their sales volume alone suggests. They're what people recommend to friends. They're what someone posts about. Protect them fiercely and promote them deliberately. Delight products are the unexpected extras. They might not shift in volume, but they create joy. A well-chosen delight product says to your customer, I thought of you. And that's something that no algorithm can replicate. No chain can replicate it either. It requires the kind of human attention that only an independent retailer to give. And then finally, dead stock. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's not moving. And every day it sits there, it's costing you not just the money tied up in it, but the opportunity cost of what could be in that space instead. Be honest with yourself here. Sentiment is not a business case. 2 examples that sit at opposite ends of the spectrum. The data showed shoppers couldn't distinguish between many of the products. They all looked the same, felt the same, and were priced similarly. The retailer removed several lines and sales went up, not because they took away choice, but because they removed confusion. The remaining products had room to breathe. Customers found what they wanted more easily. At the other end, I've worked with Fashion House in Milan. They did the exact opposite. They expanded certain lines specifically for their best clients. Bespoke, time-consuming. The financial return was strong, but the real return was in loyalty. These customers felt seen, and that deepened their relationship with the shop in a way no discount ever could. It's the same principle, opposite actions, both absolutely right for their customers. This week, take 5 or 10 products, just 5 or 10, and assign each one a role: key, destination, delight, or dead. You don't need a spreadsheet. You don't need software, just honesty. Once you've categorized something, the right action becomes obvious. Protect it, promote it, test it, or clear it. The categorizing is the hard part. The action follows naturally. Most retailers review their product mix twice a year, if that. They react when something runs out or when they notice a shelf looking a bit tired. But by then, they've already lost weeks of sales, weeks of shelf space, and weeks of customer goodwill. The shops that get this right don't do anything dramatic. They just do it regularly. Half an hour, once a month, with your sales data in front of you, that's it. The goal isn't a full stock take. The goal is awareness. You can't fix what you haven't looked at. Now, here's a discipline worth returning to. Back in 1901, a publication called The Practical Grocer put it this way, and this is the book. And I'm paraphrasing here, that the goods well bought means buying the right things at the right time in the right quantities for your specific customers. Not what a supplier is pushing, not what's on trend, what your customers want in quantities you can actually sell when they want it. That was true over a century ago. It's just as true today. Data tells you what is happening. Customers tell you why. Neither one is enough on its own. Data without context is just numbers. Customer feedback without data is just opinion. But together, that combination gives you a genuinely clear picture of what your shop should look like from the people who actually use it. Schedule a 30-minute review in your calendar right now. Make it recurring. Make it as non-negotiable as paying your suppliers. When you sit down for it, answer 4 questions for each product category. What's selling? What isn't? How old is the stock? When did I last reorder this and why? Then make 1 change, not 10, 1. Retail is iterative. Small, consistent improvements compound over time. The shop that makes 1 thoughtful adjustment every month looks and performs completely differently after a year. Now, I know that sitting down to do this for the first time can feel a bit overwhelming. You're looking at a full shop, a full product list, and you're not quite sure where to start. So I've put together a simple 1-page tool called the Monthly Product Review Prompt Sheet. It's a structured set of questions you can print out and walk your shop floor with. It covers the 4 roles, the 4 questions, and gives you a place to note what you're changing and why. It takes about half an hour, and it will show you things that have been hiding in plain sight. It's in the description below. And if you want to go deeper on the numbers, to actually see which products are carrying their weight and which are quietly dragging, the Retail Profit Finder is the next natural step. It's a practical tool built on the same principles we've talked about today, and it's free to use. Again, the link is in the description. Because the shops that are thriving right now, the ones that feel genuinely special, that customers walk past 3 competitors to get to, they're not doing anything mysterious. They're just asking the right questions regularly and acting on what they find. That's the independent advantage. Use it. I'm Keith Lockwood, and until next time, thank you and goodbye.